And I don't have a problem with Nikola doing this like outsource different strategy, but to me where I'm very scary and sketchy about this is like, this is worth $12 billion. Like when you're buying in at Nikola, for my understanding, the market capitalization of $12 billion, like the amount of growth that's priced in, their projections that original, if you look at the way the deal went through, they project revenue out and sales out for the next 3 to 4 years. And that was to those projections justify a $3.3 billion valuation for the auditors. Those projections have them going to $3 billion in revenue in 3 years to justify the $3 billion valuation. So you're just so far away from remotely justifying this valuation on any level. Even their own projections don't even justify a valuation like this. So why do you think they've been able to justify such a big valuation? Are people not looking into this? This is what my confusion. Like if this was a couple $1 billion, I'm like, okay, like maybe like let's take a risk and see what they have. Because I'm a big fan of the mission and the vision of the company, but it just seems like it's so sketchy and it's like all talk. It's like all bark, no bite.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all hype. And it's like, well, like, you know, where's the truck? Like, is the truck making deliveries? Like, no. And it's not even planning to make deliveries for a year or 3 years for the hydrogen truck, and then 1 year for the battery truck. So they delayed their hydrogen trucks, and all of a sudden they became a battery truck company, and that's their first car they're going to bring to market. It's actually a battery truck, which is super interesting to me. And they've also have this big press release about a new battery breakthrough at 500 watt hours per kilogram energy density that's going to be in this new truck. So I'm deep in the battery game. That's double what Tesla is. The Battery 500 Consortium, the leading academics in the world of battery technology, just put out that they can do 350 watt hours per kilogram at 350 cycles. Nikola already says they have a 500 watt hours per kilogram at 2,000 cycles or whatever, ready to go into mass market. Like the science people are, let alone cost effective, they can even get the cell in the lab to be remotely as good as what Nikola's claiming is ready commercially to be in a vehicle. Or is like they have the breakthrough of. And I'm like, where was your battery lab? Who are you working with? Who's going to produce your batteries? Like, what is it? Cell? Is it cylindrical cell? Is it like, you know, when I see how hard it was for Tesla to do this and actually just bring one battery electric vehicle to market, like that's when I'm like, man, like the work to go from the honeymoon phase of just showing this truck to actually making 1,000 of them is going to be so hard. Even if you are outsourcing all of it, which to me makes no sense, because I'm like, what is Iveco paying Nikola for if they know how to build the factory and the truck? Well, I guess Nikola has the best battery breakthrough in the world that they're giving to them for. You know, it's just like like when I read it, I'm like, okay, this is dope, this is exciting, this has potential, and then I like read into it, and I'm like, well, there's no way your battery's actually this good. Like you literally like would be laughed out of the room, I think, if you showed that to the leading battery experts in academia. Yeah. So, you know,
and in the interview yesterday, Tesla Daily, he addressed that because Rob asked him about it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we can make the battery cells at like 1/4 the size, but we don't have the equipment to make it full scale."
We're probably about 4 months away from having our full size cells being tested into packs and bigger systems to where we can, the smaller size, no problem. We have them down to like, quarter scale, like the smaller size of a battery, not a full. What we decided to do, once again, like our truck is that we like to pioneer tech, but we're not the best at producing it in production, right? It's just not our talent. We're not good at it. But when you get into the high cycle cells, no one's been able to really figure it out. And it wasn't really us. We just found some brilliant professors that were actually working on it, and we licensed all the IP from these professors. It's half the cost. And so our goal really is just to produce it or innovate it and then hand it off. And we've been talking to battery companies, and we're probably just going to hand it right now. If everything goes to plan, by the year's end, our goal is really to hand it off to someone and let them commercialize it, and they'll give it to everyone around the world. That's our goal.
Okay. And that would be somewhere in the range of like $50 per kilowatt hour to $100 per kilowatt hour is essentially what you're getting at.
We're hoping between 50 and 70 is our goal.
Batteries to market. So we're just going to give it to a battery supplier, and all EVs can use it, including us, and it's just good for the world. Like, okay, so you have a battery breakthrough where you just doubled the energy density of batteries, which would be worth so much money. It just doesn't. I mean,
it's possible. I'm almost like want to give Trevor the benefit of the doubt, and I would say like we should have said this at the beginning of this. Like he's happy to come on Hyperchange. Like he's got the open invite to walk through these things
just
and
to clarify, we're just really confused.
Yeah, like I'm genuinely extremely confused as to what their strategy is.